welcome you all for this, and we are happy listening to him and have a great session on the last day of your FDP on Indian knowledge system in perspective to economics and values. Thank you.
First, I would like to
Thank you,
thank.
ma'am.
Yes, Joanna.
Uh, for today's session, as mentioned by our principal, we have with us Dr. P.S. Raju Vetukuri, Associate Professor at the Regional Institute of Education in Mysore. I request Dr. Sharmila Desai, Assistant Professor of Economics, to introduce our esteemed resource person.
Thank you, Joanna. Good afternoon, all all the participants attending the national level 6-day FDP on Indian knowledge system. I am here to introduce to you our resource person for today's FDP session, Dr. P.S. Raju Vetukuri. Dr. Raju was a faculty member of the National University of Educational Planning and Administration, New Delhi. He holds a master's degree in education and commerce and a PhD degree in education. He completed an advanced 9 months annual training program in educational planning and administration at the International Institute of Educational Planning, UNESCO, Paris. He presented a number of research papers in national and international seminars and conferences in India and abroad. His published papers were on equity issues in education, vocational education, decentralized management in education, financial management in education, and scholarships incentive schemes. He has authored a book on education of the masses, a quest for pedagogy. Dr. Raju has evaluated 4 centrally sponsored schemes for the Department of School of Education and Literacy and the Department of Higher Education, MHRD, Government of India. He has also conducted a research study on non-enrollment and dropout of Muslim children at elementary stage. Dr. Raju has organized and coordinated a number of orientation programs, workshops, seminars, conferences, 22 long-term national and international diploma programs in educational planning and administration since 1989. The French government awarded him a scholarship to attend the IIP UNESCO ATP program. At present, Dr. Raju is an associate professor at the Department of Education, Regional Institute of Education, NCRT, Mysuru, Karnataka. Dr. Raju will be addressing us on Indian knowledge system in perspective to economics and values. I welcome Dr. Raju to this session and request him to enlighten us on this topic. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I request sir to please give your talk.
Thank you. First, I would like to thank you for giving this opportunity to interact with your participants. They are from different institutions, I hope, within the state or within the country.
In the country, sir.
This is a part of the UGC program.
No, no. Our IQAC is holding this.
Okay. First, I would like to thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to today. This we talking about the but most of your sessions things about the Indian knowledge system, but this is a part of our day-to-day life. What our Indian knowledge system we are practicing in our day-to-day life. We can't say that we are not using our Indian knowledge system in our personal life and at the same time your official professional life also. Because whenever you start learning at home, most of the time our parents, our grandparents, and our relations, they're most of them, they are almost one generation to another generation. They are teaching you, they are practicing so many things from the our Indian knowledge system only. Even if you whatever you are practicing at home nowadays, also some of them are very traditionally we are practicing from our mothers and grandmothers. You cannot separate that. That is one of the thing we have to recognize that we are still using our Indian knowledge system. There is no that type of we are fully going to use the modern Western culture. Even other countries also, what I have seen in the developed countries also, they are very keen on their traditions. They are still. I got an opportunity to visit. In my introduction, they informed that got an opportunity to visit the France. France, what I observed during my stay there, they are still traditions. Even if you see in Paris, most of the buildings, you can see the same architecture, old architecture. You can't see the modern structures like in developing countries. But if they have some modern, but that is a separately, they built that type of modern part. That's why any country, their traditions always they keep it. They also like that type of give importance to their traditions. India is also, we have very long traditions compared with other countries, most of the countries, but there is no other developed countries, they have this type of history like India. But in this presentation, they requested me to speak much on the economics related issues. But even this presentation, I prepared something for you. This Indian knowledge system in perspective to economics and values, in this present context, a rich heritage of theories, concepts, and practices that have evolved over centuries. In India, some important knowledge points I would like to you. One is Dharma. In India, Indian philosophy, Dharma refers to the righteous way of living and includes principles of ethics, duty, and social responsibility. It emphasizes the importance of academic activities being in alignment with moral values. This is very important. Whatever dharma, even in the present day context also, you can see the most of the departments, even in the economics or any other ethics and the duty and social responsibility is very important. Even at that time also, there is artha pertains to material well-being and prosperity. This idea that wealth generation is crucial for societal development. Any country, if they want to grow, that is the wealth generation is very important. It also emphasizes the ethical acquisition and distribution of emphasizes the ethical acquisition and distribution of wealth as exclusive accumulation without considering the common good is seen as a detrimental. Another important thing is karma yoga. Karma yoga encourages individuals to perform their duties selflessly without attachment to the fruits of their actions. Most of the time, most of the people, they think about what they will get if they do this job. Even present day also we can observe. Most of them, they think about what is the result we will get. This concept promotes diligence and dedication to work, which play a significant role in economic productivity and growth. Varna system. The Varna system originally intended as a division of labor based on skills and aptitudes has influenced economic practices in India. While it has been misinterpreted and criticized for its hierarchical structure, it highlights the significance of specialization and cooperation in academic activities. Self-sufficiency is very important. Traditionally, Indian economic thought encompasses self-sufficiency through local production and consumption, known as Swadeshi.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
To combat
Self-sufficient.
self-sufficiency, this
Yes,
is
sir.
very important for traditional Indian economic thought, emphasizes self-sufficiency through local production and consumption. Even nowadays, most of the Indian economy are self-sufficient. They don't want to depend upon the other economies. If you see that from the last 2 years, most emphasis government is giving to self-Swadeshi. You use the products, those who uh, manufactured in our country only, that gives the self sufficiency of the. This approach aims to minimize the dependency on external resources and promotes sustainability and resilience within local communities. This also provides the uh, employment opportunities to our rural poor people. This is very important for any country. To self-sufficiency is very important. Even Gandhian economics, Mahatma Gandhi also advocated for a decentralized economy focused on village level production, emphasizing the empowerment of rural communities. His principles of Swadeshi, self-reliance, and equitable distribution of wealth remain influential in Indian economic discourse. Uh, in India, if you see most of our people, even in the day-to-day life, also you can see some people they very famous in some of the states in India. Uh, Jugaad refers to the Indian concept of resourcefulness and improvisation to overcome constraints. It represents an entrepreneurial mindset and innovation in finding low-cost solutions, which has played a crucial role in India's informal economy and grassroots entrepreneurship. Even if you visit some of the rural areas, still some people there are number of innovations in the day-to-day life. Even agriculture, any small business, they do some small innovations and they don't want to spend more money on that, but they will manage to do their day-to-day work. Value of nature. Indian knowledge systems often emphasize the interconnectedness of humans and nature. If you see most of our festivals, even villages, even the tribal areas, there is very close association with the nature. Even most of them, they respect the trees. This type of concept from the beginning in Indian tradition, the concept of Vasudeva Kutumbakam, that whole world is one family. We believe on that. We also you see the present scenario of international conflicts in different countries. But India is the only one country you can see they don't want to uh, fight with any other neighbors. We have to protect ourselves from them, but we never go for that type of small countries. Indian neighbors, you can see Bhutan, Nepal, Sri Lanka. So number of small countries are living with us. They are very secure compared with other nations. Those this type of conflicts are going on. Sustainable economic practices respect and preserve the environment for future generations. If you see recently, India is also one of the country guiding the other countries in this how to protect the environment in the world. Uh, Green energy is one of the latest developments. We are trying to replace the petrol, and we are trying to use these other options. Another important is micro credit and self-help groups. This is one of the very important innovation. India is also benefiting from that from the very number of years. India has been at the forefront of innovative financial inclusion initiatives. The microcredit movement, headed by Nobel laureate Mohammad Yunus from Bangladesh, he also started this movement. Self-help groups provide small loans to marginal communities, promoting entrepreneurship and empowerment. Even in India, also you can see number of states. Some of the women they come together and they take the loans from the banks. They also start some small scale business, and that type of developments you can see almost in all the states in India. Another important traditional marketplaces. You know most of you about the India is one of the for the this business. Most of the foreigners they visit India and they exchange their goods with India. India has a long history of vibrant traditional marketplaces. There is a Silk Road, if you remember, that is very uh, famous in Indian traditionally as bazaars, which continue to play a significant role in country's economic landscape. These markets foster social interactions, encourage local entrepreneurship, preserve cultural heritage. These are some of the special reference to economics. If you compare taxation in Chanukya, Arthashastra is one of the very important uh, a book at that time, not only for economics, but all other activities also. He has written this book. Still, we are following their principles. One is that taxation. Chanukya discusses various forms of taxation, emphasizing fair and just taxation to ensure economic stability. Uh, Taxation is very important to ensure the economic stability of the country. At that time, also trade and commerce. The text covers trade policies at that time, regulations and guidelines for merchants. Chanukya recognized the significance of the thriving trade for economic prosperity. Prosperity. Even he has given more emphasis on agriculture. The Arthashastra provides insights into agricultural practices, irrigation, and policies to support the agrarian economy because India is one of the highly populated country and most of them depend upon the agriculture. Currency is also one of the major area. Chanakya discussed the importance of stable currency and the need for the state to have control over its monetary system. State revenue. He outlined strategies for increasing state revenue through efficient administration and resource management. But collecting the revenue also, he has given some of the new ideas, but I will discuss it in a later my presentation. But public welfare, Chanukya believed that economic policy should aim at the well-being of the people. Policy should not be against the people. Emphasize social and economic justice. It is very important. Industrial policy. At that time, there was no major industries like nowadays, but small scale industries, though not in modern sense. The other system touches upon aspects of regulations related to crafts and small scale industries. Overall, Chanukya's economic ideas in the Arthashastra are deeply rooted in the practicalities of governance, aiming at the prosperity and the stability of the state. These are some of the points I would like to raise. Uh, if you come back, there are in this uh, Indian knowledge system, even Chanakya mentioned one of the important things, that is you have to collect the taxes whatever you require. Don't put more taxes on the people. That is not good for any country. Another important aspect at that time, Chanakya mentioned about uh, this social responsibility. You have to spend some money, whatever you earn from different business or whatever it may be. You have to take it as a uh, cooperative social responsibility. What we are talking CSR. Even without taxes, you cannot run the government. That's why most of the governments they increase the taxes, but Chanakya says that don't collect more money from the people. You have to collect whatever money you require. Open economy is very important for his team. Even you have to take care of the demand and supply. If you are supplying more and there is less demand, finally their prices will come down. That is not good for the any country. Even he also mentioned about somebody should be there to control your finances at that time. Superintendents make agreements transparent. There's a relation agreements among the people, business. Government should take responsibility for all the aspects of the people. You can't say that this is not our job. Sell only quality products. You have to control the nowadays you can see on the products MRP, but nobody should sell their product more than the MRP. At that time also they have this type of rules and regulations. Even collecting the taxes on the domestic products, the 5% and international products, that is 10%. The type of taxing system. Another interesting thing is very relevant to most of us. He said salary should not be more than one fourth of the income of the country. Whatever revenue you collect from the people, salaries for the public servants like us should not be more than one by fourth of the total revenue. Control inflation by government. Government's role is to control the inflation. Even king should not make people happy. That is the first priority for the any government. King should reward people based on skills. If somebody is doing very good job, they have to give the rewards. Use sama, dama, veda. These are the skills you have to use for run the government. Whenever you have to use what type of skill, that is more important. Be public servant. All the public servants should work for the society. Don't only to make money. Be strict with corrupted politicians, those who are working the this type of business. You have to be very strict. Expand villages and provide jobs. What now in the present context also, most urbanization is going on. Even most of the people they are migrating to urban areas. But at that time also, Chanakya mentioned about this. You encourage the rural areas, provide employment opportunities in the rural areas. People discourage them to migrate to the urban areas. Keep an eye on uh, auditor's report. Even whatever you spend public money, you must have some auditor's report properly. You have to maintain that reports. Even rulers should spend some time with the public. You have to be very closely associated with the public time to time. They understand their day-to-day problems. Even he emphasized the public-private partnership in the Ardhashastra. Focus on agriculture is a because of the our countries. Most of the population they are depend upon the agriculture. Even he mentioned about never uh, create problems to the people for collecting the taxes. If sometimes there is a public, uh, they are facing some difficulty in that particular year, don't harass them for collecting the taxes. That is one of the important. You have to see the what exactly the natural calamities, cyclones. We some of the parts of our country we have this type of issues. Even sometimes there is no productivity, then you have to consider that reducing their taxes. Main goal should be serving public. Another important thing he said that follow dharma. Whatever job you do, it should be very important to following the dharma. Particularly in the field of agriculture, very important for provide subsidies. Even nowadays, if you see most of the governments, they are giving more than necessary subsidies to the people. This is also not good. Compared with this present day, more people are not encouraged to do the job. They are getting number of subsidies, but you have to give subsidies for those who require the subsidies, like old age health for the poor. But that type of subsidies you have to be very careful about that. But most of the governments, if you see present the situation in your states, you can take the example of all the states. They are encouraging those who don't need of any subsidy also they are getting the subsidy. You government should control the prices. This is very important. Even nowadays, these prices are very high. That's why government what they do, they import some of the goods those who are scarce in our country. If the excess production is there, then they will export to other countries. Otherwise, they have to import from them to control the prices. Provide pledges to the farmers, provide ex gratia if something happened in that particular state, they have to provide ex gratia to the farmers, some deceased persons. Collect taxes based on the income, that is more important. Consider all costs whenever you uh, fix the price of the product, you have to consider all the cost. Provide irrigation facilities like water and other loans to the farmers. Use natural methods. Encourage them to use the natural methods. Protect natural resources. This is very important nowadays. These are some of the points I would like to mention about the agriculture as per the Ardhashastra. He also mentioned not only for the economics, but even the think about government also about the people. You have to manage the government. You have to think both to governance and at the same time you have to think about the welfare of the people. Be transparent. That is more important. Whatever duty you are doing as a politician, as a public servant, whatever your job you are doing, but it's very transparent. Do frequent inspections. Inspection system monitoring is very important. You have to provide some administrative management system to monitor the appoint a spy. You have to put some people on that to understand better about what is going on in your country. Learn to deal with people. how to deal with the people is very important. You should be in touch with the people time to time. Be an inspiring leader. Leader should be whatever uh, uh, position he has, but he has the inspiring to the people. He should be a role model to others. Consider talent, but not the caste. At that time, also caste system is uh, very common in India, but you have to take the not caste is not important. Consider the talent to select the candidates. Focus on education facilities. Education is the only one that will give the freedom to the humanity. You have to encourage the more education facilities in the country. Control desires. He says your desires should be controlled. Do what you say. Another important thing is that whatever you say, you have to follow. Uh, Follow the rules and regulations of the land. Uh, Nowadays, most of the rules and regulations, most of them, they don't know about the rules, even regulations. Just they are avoiding that. Another important advice by the Chanakya, take advice from the seniors. You have to take, never harass public for money. Sometimes public may not able to pay the taxes, but don't harass them. Never collect taxes before due date. Even if you see nowadays, most of the uh, local bodies, municipalities, they're asking you to pay in advance the taxes. But at the time, Chanakya said that never collect taxes in advance from the public. These are some of the points I would like to share about the Chanakya Arthashastra. Now we can have some discussion about this.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
You wanted to make a discussion
Yeah,
on Chanakya's Arthashastra.
public, not only that, even education system also they can ask if they like to, because I was there in this field of education, planning and administration for a long time.
Sir, can you throw light on the barter system?
At that time, there was no proper currency actually in our country. Even this system is still exists in some of the very remote areas of our country. Do you believe that? Yes, sir.
Hello? Yes, sir?
This system still it is practicing in our country. Do you believe?
No, don't know, sir.
Most of the remote tribal areas, there is no circulation of money.
Hmm.
Okay. But in plain areas, urban areas, even rural areas, also people now they are very advanced. They are using this ATMs. We are so advanced because of the last 2 3 years. There is a lot of difference in using the. But in rural areas, if you go to the remote tribal areas in some of the states,
Yes.
they bring their product from their home to the weekly markets. They don't have any money with them. They are not like us. We also save some money, we put in the bank. Even now, no need to go to the bank also.
Yes.
Even we don't no need to touch the currency. But what they do, they bring their product from their whatever they produce in their land, in the forest,
Yes.
collect from the forest, they bring to the weekly markets.
Ah,
Weekly markets. That is a central place in that area. They come from different villages. They give the turmeric, suppose turmeric, they collect from the forest. If they give this much of turmeric, they may take some other items for their day-to-day use. That is still in some of the places going on. That depends upon the demand. There are so much of turmeric in their locality. Nobody will take. Only people from outside, middleman, businessman, they go there, they collect the money and they give sometimes money also, otherwise some goods. That type of system is at that time very natural because there was no currency. If it is there, but very difficult to manage. Print, even coins also in silver. You might have seen
yes, yes.
even in different. That is also expensive actually. After that, they use this paper currency. Now, even governments are thinking about avoiding this currency and digitization. That is the advantage. There is no expenditure for printing. This is very expensive also. That is one of the major change coming. Most of you from the colleges, I think universities, if you have something to ask about the Indian education system, I'm so happy to interact with you. This is a good opportunity.
Yeah.
Yes.
So please.
Sir, how you value economics now and in ancient time, like for your own comments on that? Values that are been in business promotion.
Values
Yeah.
at that time also a challenge. That's why Arthashastra, he has written all these things, what we just discussed.
Yes.
At that time also it's a challenge. Money means a problem. No. Even today also, people, lot of systems we have to control the people, their behaviors. That's why Arthashastra also mentions about the ethics, moral values are very important. Not only this time, even at the ancient time also, this is there in humanities.
Yes.
That's why he thought about all this written at that time. At that time also in the society you can find. But time to time maybe some changes. At that time maybe thefts in the houses, but now there are thefts on the online thefts
Yes,
on.
yes, yes, security.
That time to time it changed. But that the values, ethics are very important for the humans. That is more important. That is still relevant in our day-to-day life. There is no much difference. But time to time you have to change the policies according to the developments.
इन हिंदी सर मूल्य मूल्य के साथ चलता है मीन्स वैल्यू एंड मूल्य मूल्य यानी अर्थ एंड मूल्य यानी वैल्यूज सो अर्थ के बगैर वैल्यू नहीं है तो दोनों साथ साथ चलने चाहिए ऐसा कहा जाता है वैल्यूज हाँ अर्थ है तो वैल्यूज के साथ अर्थ आपके पास होना चाहिए तो ये अर्थ टिकेगा तो ये अर्थ आगे जाएगा
Actually, majority of the people are very good people. Otherwise, you can't survive in this world.
yes.
Very few people are very not following the rules, regulations, no values, ethics. Otherwise, you can't run this society like this. most of the people, they have the very good ethics. We learn from our ancestors, from Granth books, Ramayana, Mahabharata, all these epics, from your families, stories, whatever you learn from the childhood. And develop from the more informal way you educate, not in the schools and colleges. That is very different.
Yes.
But whatever values by in your day-to-day life comes from your families. That is more important. You have to still maintain that type of value system.
Correct.
But now, Government of India is thinking about national education policy and national curriculum framework 2023, finalized by NCERT recently. They are trying to put it in the schools also as a value education. That
Yes.
is more change. But previously it was included in the edu- education system. Whatever subject you study, it is included in that.
Yes.
There is no separate subject for values.
Correct.
But now this is the stage. This is the difference, madam, asking for difference.
Yes.
We
Yes.
are, we are teaching values also as a subject.
Yes.
That type of-
Correct. It is that is the need of the now.
we thought we need more values.
Actually, sir begin with कर्म योगा ना. How like selfless होना कितना जरूरी है.
Most of our people are very dedicated, but you can't see them like that.
Yes.
But they know, each of you know how much you are good about you. But you don't know how much good I am. But
Yes.
time to work with your colleagues, easily you can identify their good qualities. But we never appreciate that. That is one of the drawback. But we know they are how much they are good. You know? But this is there in our Indian education system. Even our teachers, most of your teachers you might have seen as a role models. Whatever they say, they follow.
They follow.
Even as a teacher, I am telling you so many good things, but I am not following that. There is no value for that. Students also observe.
Yes, sir.
They observe.
Actually, in Indian knowledge system, we say the same. No? Whatever you say, you follow.
But nowadays, education also, most of the teachers, they are coming to this profession for job purpose.
Yes.
Okay? They are at the same time, they need jobs. That is one of the major challenge our Indian education system is facing.
Yes.
Employment purpose, they are coming to this profession, but they are not able to fulfill that. How teachers should be role model for children. That is one of the major challenge for the teachers also. Students also not able to understand what really. That's why our system is slowly changing. We have to accept that. But still, you have to see so many people. They are very ethically very. That ethics, morals, you learn from your families. That is very important.
Sir, now that the way we are doing taxation, was that in the previous during a Chanakya time also taxes were taken? In the
No, he
earnings?
said no. Chanakya was not in favor of.
Which one? Pardon?
Tax on the salaries and all tax.
Chanakya said taxes are not. You said something, sir. That Chanakya always said that taxes
Should
don't
not be
take.
taxes.
No, you have to take taxes. Without taxes, how you can manage your country, your kingdom?
To generate revenue.
No, you have to collect the taxes. But what Chanakya said that how much you require, you have to take that much. Even in our history, I think Aurangzeb, some of the foreign rulers, they collected so much of tax from the public. Even they are not paying, they are harassing the public. That type of system should not be there. You have to consider case to case. Sometimes there may be some village, there is maybe some issues. You have to understand their concerns, but you have to collect the tax, but you have to spend that tax amount also. Even I said about public servants like us should not spend more than 1/4 of the revenue what we collected. We should not spend that much of money to the public servants like us. Only 1/4. It should not increase 25%. He said like.
So, anyone else wants to say something? Sharmila, Anthea, and all, you all want to say something?
But more participation, and I request all of them to unmute
Yes, and say.
unmute your cameras. Others,
Yes, Sharmila.
Dr. Sharmila.
you have some people sitting there also
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
in the class.
They have no questions.
But at least they can ask about education.
So, education system you speak about.
Yeah.
You tell your views about Indian education. New pen, and new policy.
New policy, we are bringing lot of changes because we have to change according to the
Sir is there.
time to time. Even the now one of the major intervention by the government of India in education policy is foundations. Pre-primary is also bringing to the education system. This is very major intervention by the government of India. Most of the states, pre-primary education is not part of the education system from the last so many years. First time in 2020 policy, they included this pre-primary also in the a lot of emphasis they have given to bring that change. Even higher education particularly, most of you are in higher education. Even number of reforms government of India is bringing through UGC. These are this type of improving higher education is very important because most of the colleges now working under the private managements. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Most of the participants, they are participating here, come under the private managements.
Private name.
No.
Government.
Most of them are government, sir.
Government.
Yes.
But education, if you see, government is spending very less. Most of the money we spend by elementary education. Very less money we spend on the higher education by the government. Why they spend more money on elementary education? If you spend more money on higher education, the returns you will get, country will get, is not more than if you spend more money on the elementary education. Country will benefit better.
Yes.
If
But less money is been allocated for research also.
now in the new education policy, they have there is a national research fund created, closing all the different types of small institutions to funding the education. National Research Fund is a one body. They will give the uh, funds to do the research. How many of you know about NEPA also gives the funds to do some research, and they give some organizing programs like this type of programs. NEPA will also support financially. You can apply directly to NEPA through their website. You will get some funds for the organizing seminars. How many of you know about this? Binaji? Anybody wants to know what type of funds you have need for organizing
For social sciences, sir.
educational? Any programs, seminars you can conduct. You can apply for National Institute of Academic Education.
Age-old principles in today's world, and
Pardon?
also stressed on the significance of corporate and social responsibilities. Participants,
Somebody
sir, are you
say,
saying something?
pardon?
Somebody ask question.
Johanna ji,
Yes, sir.
please repeat.
Sir, we are done with this session. Any of the participants, they have any more questions? Or we'll move on to the valedictory function.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
So now
you.
for the valedictory function, we have a chief guest, Dr. Chandralekha D'Souza, retired professor of Konkani. I call upon our principal, Professor Punnakala Saman, to introduce our chief guest.
So we heard Dr. Raju Vetukuri is talking on, he's enlightened us on the in the field of economics, and how it is different, and how we can take message from the ancient mode of economics to recent mode of technology-based economy. Sir, we are really very happy to listen to you. And now we have reached at the valedictory function, and it's my great honor to welcome Professor Chandralekha D'Souza. She is a retired uh, uh, professor from Goa University, Konkani department, and she's always associated with us for many of our academic works. So I request Madam to speak on this valedictory, a few comments on this. And we found her that she has attended all our sessions from day 1 to day 6. So, Madam, we are very happy to have you as a chief guest of today's evening at the closing end of the valedictory function.
मैडम
हाँ
आपका
जी धन्यवाद। हाँ बोलिए।
आपका स्वागत है बोल रहे हूँ।
हाँ जी धन्यवाद। मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा प्राचार्य जी, आपने मुझे इतना बड़ा सम्मान दिया और सर आपका लेक्चर भी बहुत अच्छा रहा। पूरे कार्यक्रम के बारे में मैं जो बताना चाहती हूँ कि भारतीय ज्ञान महोत्सव में हमने हमारी भारतीय ज्ञान शाखाओं पर सोचने और समझने की कोशिश की, और इसमें हमें भारतीय ज्ञान की गंगा की ओर ले जाने वाले हमारे ज्ञानी प्रोफेसरों ने हमें बहुत कुछ सिखाया। तो हम घर में बैठे हुए भी ज्ञान की गंगा में डुबकी लगा सके। अलग अलग विषयों का आयोजन भी हुआ, तो आयोजन करने वालों को सलाम, और आपके फैकल्टी मेंबर को भी सलाम कि जिन्होंने इतना अच्छा कार्यक्रम आयोजन करके बहुत कुछ यहाँ पर दिया। हमने इतने दिनों में जो कुछ सुना सर, हमारी शिक्षा नीति और भारतीय ज्ञान, थिएटर का हमारा भारतीय ज्ञान और उसके आज के संदर्भ में भी हमने सोचा। हम सब जानते हैं कि संस्कृत साहित्य में दृक और श्रव्य शास्त्र है, तो आज के जमाने भी आप देखिए, सबसे पहला सवाल करना पड़ता है कि एम आई ऑडिबल, एम आई सीन प्रॉपरली। तो ये जो आज के संदर्भ में हमें दिखना भी है और बोलना भी है, तो दृक और श्राव्य की जो महत्व है वो हमें सामने आता है। आगे हमने यहाँ के कार्यक्रमों में देखा सूक्ष्म जैविकी के प्राचीन संदर्भ। अब ये जैविकी शास्त्र जिसे हम माइक्रोबायोलॉजी अंग्रेजी में कहते हैं, तो हम प्राचीन जमाने में भी उसके बारे में कृमि और कृमि के बारे में जानते थे, और उसका आज के संदर्भ में महत्व क्या है उसको भी हमने जानने की कोशिश की। ब्रह्म विद्या के संदर्भ में हमारा जो प्राचीन विज्ञान था उसे भी हमने, प्रोफेसरों ने हमें बहुत अच्छे से सिखाया कि इंसान को चाहिए कि हम इतनी एक छोटे से जीव है इस पृथ्वी पर, तो हमें नम्रता से रहना है, वृक्षों से बहुत कुछ सीखना है। सो वी विल हैव टू लर्न फ्रॉम ईच एंड एवरी एलिमेंट ऑफ अवर ब्रह्म। ये हमने सीखा, जो कि मनुष्य ऑलवेज वी फील दैट आई नो एवरीथिंग, आई एम द मास्टर, आई एम द कंप्यूटर एंड आई हैव मेड द कंप्यूटर। पर ये कंप्यूटर बनाने की शक्ति मनुष्य को कहाँ से मिली? तो ये जो ऊर्जा प्राप्त होती है हमें, वह कहीं न कहीं ब्रह्म से ही मिलती है, ये हमने सीखा। फिर भारतीय ज्ञान में मोक्ष के अलग अलग संदर्भ है, इसके बारे में भी हमने जाना। और आज आपसे हमने सुना कि हमारा जो अर्थशास्त्र और उसके अंदर के मूल्य, उसके बारे में हम कैसे जाने, कैसे समझे। बदलते संदर्भ में अर्थशास्त्र भी बदला, धर्म अर्थ काम मोक्ष की नीति भी बदली, और हमने आज उसको कैसे स्वीकार किया। आज भी अर्थशास्त्र में कौन से मूल्य चल रहे हैं ये आपने हमें बताया। हमारे साथ होता ये है कि हम वर्तमान को तो स्पष्ट रूप से देख पाते हैं, लेकिन हमारा वर्तमान हमारे भूतकाल पे खड़ा है, और उस भूतकाल को हम भूल गए तो हम आगे कैसे बढ़ेंगे। तो हमारे विद्यार्थी भी सलाम के पात्र है, जिन्होंने बहुत सारी चीजों को शांति से सुना, और हमारा जो आज का वर्तमान है उसकी बागडोर हमारे विद्यार्थियों के पास है। तो ये विद्यार्थियों के लिए भी एक अच्छी ज्ञान गंगा बहाई। आप लोगों ने, प्राचार्य मैडम का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, आपके फैकल्टी मेंबर का भी। आपका महाविद्यालय खूब खूब प्रगति करे और ऐसे आयोजन करके घर बैठे ज्ञान की गंगा हमें सुनाए, इसी आशा के साथ मैं विदा लेती हूँ। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, ma'am. Now we will have an overview of the sessions organized in these 6 days by reading of the FDP report. The Faculty Development Program titled Bharatiya Gyan Mahotsav Revisiting Indian Knowledge System was organized by the Internal Quality Assurance Cell IQAC at the Government College of Arts, Science and Commerce, Khandola, Marcella. The 6-day online event aimed to delve into the depth and significance of the Indian knowledge system and its relevance to contemporary education and societal contexts. The FTP commenced with an inaugural function. The chief guest for this function was Dr. Savio Falero, Managing Director of Goa State Research Foundation. The first session, Essentiality of Indian Knowledge Tradition in NEP, was conducted by Professor Sanjeev Kumar Dubey. Professor Dubey meticulously expounded upon the essential role of microbiology in understanding Indian knowledge systems in view of theatre led by Professor Vasistha Narayan Tripathi, retired professor, Kashi Hindu Vishwavidyalay, highlighted the intrinsic connections between theatrical arts and the Indian knowledge ethos. On the third day, Professor Arvind M. Deshmukh, the esteemed National President of Microbiologists Society India, delivered an insightful talk titled Indian Knowledge System Through the Lens of the Microbial World. Professor Deshmukh enhanced the understanding about the microbiology related practices being carried out all these years and the roots of microbial principles in ancient India. Session 4 was by Professor V.S. Phadke, the retired professor and former head of the Department of Geography at the University of Mumbai. Professor Phadke's session centered on disseminating Brahma Vidya, an ancient science of Prakya Yoga. His elucidation of Brahma Vidya, an ancient science embedded in Prakya Yoga, delved into its philosophical and practical aspects. The resource person for the fifth session was Ms. Manisha Dhyaneshwar Bhate, a distinguished research scholar, author, and owner of Samarth Media Center. She captivated the audience with her talk on Moksha Path, tradition of Maharashtra. Her session provided a comprehensive understanding of this tradition, emphasizing its significance in the broader context of Indian spiritual practices. The session on the sixth day was by Dr. P.S. Raju Vetukuri, an associate professor at the Regional Institute of Education in Mysuru. He delivered an engaging session titled Indian Knowledge System in Perspective to Economics and Values. Dr. Vetukuru's insightful lecture explored the intersection of Indian knowledge systems with economic principles and ethical values. The participants engaged in insightful discussions after each session. Throughout these sessions, we unraveled the depths of India's timeless knowledge systems. The session was further followed by a short valedictory function. Now I request Dr. Beena Verenkar, Associate Professor of Chemistry, to give her valuable feedback about this FDP.
Good afternoon, all. Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable insight into the ancient economic principles and the its relevance in our the ethical values and its relevance in our education system. To tell us, interactive session was very nice regarding the barter system and all. So thank you so much for your insightful talk. So coming to the feedback of entire talks we have been listening to for last 6 days. So it was I really thank Professor our principal Professor Purnakala Samant for organizing this convention on Indian knowledge system, which is really an incredible tapestry, tradition deeply rooted in history, in and revered for its diverse and holistic approach. We were not we were knowing this, but we were not knowing this in terms of Indian knowledge system as such. Like we being science teachers and all, we this was a real it an eye opener for us to understand it. Though we know all these things, but it was like a sum total of all these talks were like sum total, and it was really a treasure trove which took us for this last 6 days. It was like khazana from these intellectual pursuits of all these intellectual people, all top uh, orators. Now, this knowledge which you have gained has really endowed us with timeless wisdom of scriptures that will really, and all this knowledge has continued to inspire the ancient, from ancient, this it has been inspiring people. So it will continue to do that. So, and all my colleagues also will agree that we got the understanding of all the different disciplines pertaining to Indian knowledge system, and which fosters the comprehensive understanding of life, and this knowledge will help us to understand the depths of spiritual paths as well. So the first lecture was by Sanjeev Kumar Dubey, who really gave us the essential. It was the talk on essentiality of Indian knowledge tradition in NEP. So he gave us real this about how the NEP will help us in education, how this changes in education system will help. Then second lecture was Vashishta Narayan Tripathi. Sir gave us the glimpses of theoretical arts and how its relevance in Indian knowledge system. The next lecture was the third lecture was on by Arvind Deshmukh. The topic was Indian knowledge system through the lens of microbial world. Uh, Sir has really given us the this of ancient India, how the principles of microbiology has delved into this, how it has how microbiology was used by the ancient India in the wherever it is religious this it was how it was used, like how everywhere the footprints of microbiology are seen. The next talk was on evolution of universe. What is the lesson of man? By V.S. Phadke. The talk was on yoga and ancient science. It was dissemination of yoga and ancient science, where Sir spoke about and how its relevance to each one's health and other aspects. The next class was Manisha Daneshwar Pate, and the talk was really inspiring. It was like a very uh, new topic for us, and to understand the spirituality and the this of her knowledge was awesome. And the talk was on Moksha Patvi, where she has really given us this tradition of ancient India. And today's talk also was very inspiring, sir. Thank you so much for giving us this knowledge uh, so that we can enhance, our our domain, we can we can horizons of our mind can be widened now to see the Indian education, Indian knowledge system, and give it to our students. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Madam Principal, to organize this convention. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Vardha ma'am, you want to say something? You have raised your hand. Okay. Through the Bharatiya Gyan Mahotsav, we have come across a sequence of ideas from Ayurveda to astronomy, yoga to mathematics, unveiling the treasures that we have. Indeed, we need to honor and celebrate the brilliance of our heritage, embracing the wisdom that resonates across ages and boundaries. As we conclude the 6-day captivating online session, I call upon Dr. Dilekta D'Costa, Associate Professor of Microbiology, to propose the word of thanks.
Good afternoon, one and all. In Indian culture, expressing gratitude is an important aspect of social interactions. Ancient scriptures tell us that our forefathers thanked each and every living and non-living thing around, and many Indian recitals recall every small thing around and chant gratitude towards it. So, with this in mind, first and foremost, I would like to thank the Almighty for His blessings and for His graces that He has endowed us and showered on us so that we could think of or we conceptualized such an FDP on the Indian knowledge system, which was the need of the hour. And we have seen that it has gone off very successfully. So we thank God for that. I would like to also thank the chief guest of the inaugural session, Dr. Savio Falero, who was there on the first day of the FTP. I would also express my deep gratitude to a very charming lady, and that is Dr. Chandralekha D'Souza, who was the chief guest of the valedictory function and who has summed up and given her feedback in a very beautiful manner with regard to our FDP. Thank you, ma'am. I would also express my gratitude to all the resource persons, the 6 resource persons on the 6 days of the FTP. So with the knowledge and the lectures of the resource persons, I must say the participants were overwhelmed with the talks. The lectures were so informative and inspiring and triggered each and every one of us to go back to our Mother Earth and to all the Shastras, as we have yet a lot to learn from our rishis and ancient scriptures for our physical, mental, and spiritual avatars. So, the resource persons, I must congratulate them and thank them from the bottom of my heart that you all have really done your homework well. You have done a lot of research, your own experiences, you have summed it up all together and given us so much of knowledge which we will really cherish. Thank you so much to the resource persons. A deep sense of gratitude also to my principal, who's really dynamic, and this topic is in her avatar, I can say, in her blood. She was waiting when we would have such an FTP, and it has taken form, and I must say it has been done very nicely. From the feedback that we have got, especially also from Dr. Beena. Thank you so much, Dr. Beena, for that lovely feedback that you gave us. It means
Most
a lot.
welcome. Most welcome, Dr. Director.
The person behind this, always, though she is there on camera, always seen, but behind the scenes, she's doing so much of work towards the conduct of this particular FTP, and that is none other than Dr. Asha Gehlot, who has left no stone unturned to see that everything went on successfully during this 6-day FTP. And last but not the least, I must thank all the participants. Without you all participants, this wouldn't have been possible. So thank you, participants, for attending, and I'm sure you will not regret it, because each and every day was a different type of knowledge and something that we were really inspired, and it triggered our hearts and minds and to the deepest core of our hearts and minds. And a big thank you to our technical team and all the other organizing members of the team. Thank you so much, because if not for the technical team, we wouldn't have been sitting in our colleges and the resource persons from here and there, having this type of a discussion. So hats off to the technical team. So a big thank you to everybody. And as I conclude my vote of thanks, let me end with this. Let the wisdom of the ages guide you as you embark on an awe-inspiring expedition through the treasures of Indian knowledge system. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Thank you.
Requesting all to put on their videos.
Videos ready.
Please put on the cameras. Yes, nice.
We will have one group photo, yeah.
Surekha. Surekha, please put. Surekha, take a pic.
Are we taking photo?
जनगण मन अधिनायक पंजाब सिंध
गुजरात मराठा द्राविड जलवंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाये तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
thank you.
Thank you so. Thank you so. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Especially for accepting our invitation on short notice, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.